Streaming across the globe, Ben Norris, Rob McKnight, and David Robinson.
Ben, Rob and Robbo. News, reviews, entertainment too. It's the Ben, Rob and Robbo. Ben, Rob and Robbo Show. Ben, Rob and Robbo Show.
Welcome to the Ben, Rob and Robbo Show. Here's Rob McKnight.
Hello and welcome to the Ben, Rob and Robbo Show. A new angle today, so you can see a little bit of the magic here at the McKnight Tonight Studios, also known as our McKnight Tonight Garage. Hello there. Can we take that shot again, Amanda? There we are. And it's on a real delay there, so, you know, a good 20-second delay. So we're streaming that shot through. So, yes, there's a new angle for you. It's a lot of fun. It's Tipsy Thursday, so please welcome the boys we're getting tipsy with. It's Ben Norris and David Robinson. Hi. Hello, boys.
Hello there. Good afternoon.
Ben, this is a sight I haven't seen before. You with an empty glass.
I know. And the thing is that I went to go and have a look in the wine cupboard, and this has never happened in the Ben and Ben house, and that is that there was only one bottle of wine left, and it's a Pinot Noir, and I don't like a Pinot Noir. I think it tastes like blood.
Well, you're going to have to have it, or you're going to have to get on the spirits, because you can't miss Tipsy Thursday. Australia is tuning in for Tipsy Thursday.
Are they really?
Yeah, it's a thing, Robbo.
Our mothers.
Yeah, no. It should be a national holiday. Should have a public holiday every Thursday. Yeah.
All right. Well, Ben's thoughts is there. You go. Cheers, Ben.
Yes, it
and cheers to everyone joining us for Tipsy Thursday.
Cheers.
David, pick up your glass.
Oh, I've already done it.
You just try to make us look like alcohol. Well, you can stop now. You can stop.
Oh. What was that word there, Rob? What word were you trying to say there, buddy?
You just trying to make us look like alcoholics.
Hey, do you boys remember laybacks? Do you remember laybacks at bars? You know, where you used to pay like money for like the same price as a shot, and you'd lean back over the bar and they'd pour the booze directly down your throat. Do you remember that, or was that a Melbourne thing?
I've never been part of that world, Ben.
That might be a specific little bar that you're going to there, Ben.
No,
you wear clothes.
It was like
lay back with the bareback.
Oh, okay, we're going off. All right. I don't even know what to say now.
I don't mind that, but yeah, let's move on. That's pretty good.
That wasn't too bad.
That was very good.
It was good. Anyway.
Rob McKnight, do you even know what barebacking is?
I'm sure I don't. There is a lot coming up on today's episode of the Ben, Rob and Robbo Show, especially movies with Joe Casamento, and there's a lot happening in entertainment. But first, let's get into our hot button topics. And there's been what some are calling a setback for free speech in Australia, with a judgment handed down this morning in favour of actor Geoffrey Rush. The Daily Telegraph was appealing a defamation verdict won by the actor. This report from Leonie Ryan is courtesy of the morning show on 7, as she reported on the verdict live from Sydney.
It was handed down in the federal court here behind me, and that was in response to Nationwide News, or the Daily Telly, appealing the original judgment that it defamed the actor in a series of articles. He ruled the evidence given by actress Erin Jean Norval, who the publication had as its star witness during the proceedings, as fanciful, and found the testimony given by Geoffrey Rush was credible, awarding the Star $2.9 million in damages. News Limited accused the judge of bias and said the amount was excessive, so it lodged the appeal. During a 2-day hearing, 3 federal court judges heard submissions from both parties, and they have delivered their findings dismissing the appeal. Now, Nationwide News and the Daily Telegraph, well, it may not be the end of the road for them. They can take this to the High Court, but they need to find an error of law has been made by the judge.
That courtesy of the morning show. The decision has prompted commentary like this one from journalist Michael Bodie. I have many thoughts, he says. This decision obviously silences those many thoughts and will silence many more people. Telly ballsed it up royally, but a very sad day nonetheless. Robbo, is this a sad day for journalism?
The story wasn't true. That's been proven in court that it didn't happen. So to say that this is a free speech issue is completely incorrect. You know what? Weirdly, for journalism, it's a sad day when a journalist doesn't, check sources and, recheck things and make sure they've got all of the information that they need to before they rush to. So absolutely, I disagree entirely on that.
I will say I have a lot of respect for the journalist who did this story. But, you know, I can't speak for deadlines and pushing by editors or whatever, how this story got to air. But, Ben, I sometimes feel journalists... Well,
he didn't check the facts. Irrelevant of deadlines, he didn't check the facts. He went to print without knowing anything. So if you don't actually have the sources confirmed and you know everything shored up, then you don't put it to print.
Yeah,
Simple.
I'm not going to speak to why it went to print or not. But, Ben, I sometimes feel journalists believe they should have the right to print whatever they want. But surely they should have to prove any allegations they make. Robbo's making the point. This hasn't been provable in court. So do journalists have the right to complain that this will silence people?
I don't think it's going to silence anybody. I think people are going to still tell the stories that they want to tell. Like, I think at the end of the day... at the end of the day, this is not going to change the narrative too much when it comes to these sorts of stories. I mean, this particular story was a load of crap, and Geoffrey Rush, I'm sure, is going to donate that money to the MTC or to the STC, or it's going to go somewhere good. But at the end of the day, his career did take a fair whack. People will always remember those allegations. They were proven to be not true. Does that mean that these sorts of stories will be squashed? Do you think people will change the way in which we report this sort of thing? Probably not. But
I actually think it will. I think Michael has a fair point when he says there has been some fear in journalism that the more defamation cases that win will make publishing companies and investigative reporters less likely to go to print or to publish or to air their stories, because if it goes to defamation, we are in a downturn in the advertising market. Networks and publishers don't want to put themselves in that position, so they are more likely to err on the side of caution.
But are you going to stop
risk a payout?
Like, are you going to stop writing these sorts of stories? I mean, does this change the way in which you're reporting?
I'm very careful when it comes to defamation. We do have some of the harshest defamation laws in this country, but the defamation laws I agree with. You should not be publishing unless you can absolutely prove your point. Truth is a defence in defamation. And
I 100% agree with that, but I just want to know whether or not this Geoffrey Rush case is actually stopped. Has it in any way changed your behaviour? That's what I want to know.
Well, the anecdotal evidence I've heard, whether reading on social media or just the people I know, suggests that it is because of our defamation laws, and journalists are wanting those defamation laws to go because they don't want to have to prove the facts. My point is that I like the defamation laws in this country because the journalists and publishers have a very powerful platform. If they want to bring you to account, then they need to have absolute proof before they publish allegations. Because if they publish something against you, Ben, it's very hard for you to take on News Corp or Channel 9 newspapers or anything like that because they have deeper pockets than the average Joe. So the fact that someone like Geoffrey Rush has taken them on will make them think twice about besmirching people's names without proof. And I don't think burden of proof is such a bad thing.
There's a few ways to look at this, though. I mean, at the end of the day, Geoffrey Rush was just defending his name. I don't think this was a crusade, particularly against all media. I think he just was like, this woman's made a very serious allegation that is untrue. It's unfounded. Unfortunately, because Geoffrey Rush's profile is so big, you know, it's being covered heavily in the media. But at the end of the day, right or wrong, people need to be able to defend themselves. And this is the ultimate outcome. The man was innocent. And he's like, the fact of the matter is, so much work of, you know, his body of work, you know, was put into disrepute. Like, I remember there was that some of the streaming services, while this court case was going on, was removing some of his films. Like,
once
at the end
again,
of the day,
what happened to innocent until proven guilty? You know, like, these streamers have a lot to answer for because they just rip people's lives apart without a burden of proof, once again. So will they reinstate them now? I really hate this cancel culture when someone's accused of something. It's ridiculous.
Well, it's an individual circumstance.
I think journalists and publications do not need to worry about defamation laws if they just adhere to the fundamentals of journalism. Due diligence, good research, back up your sources. Then you don't have to worry about the defamation. So I don't understand this. If you do your job properly and you tick every box, then publish. But if you don't publish. And if you do publish and you get in trouble, that's not, oh my God, this is annoying. That's not dampening free speech. No wonder people don't trust journalists. No wonder they don't. Like when this kind of stuff happens and then they start crying foul, no. Just do your
Robbo,
job properly.
There's always going to be good journalists and bad journalists. And I mean, you know, people's credibility and people's paychecks get increased and decreased based on the credibility of their sources and their careers. You know, at the end of the day, for people who falsely come out with these shitty stories about people that are not true, you know, no one's going to really believe them anymore. You know what I mean? Like, so there's
Rob,
a bit of an issue with them.
I agree with what you're saying, Ben. Yeah. Rob, do you think the journalist should be sacked?
No. I don't
Why?
think it comes down to one journalist. A journo would talk to their editors about their story. It goes through a vetting process. It goes through legal people. So, like, that story would have been vetted by the legal team, and they made a decision.
I'd get a new legal team.
Sorry?
I'd get a new legal team.
Well, you know, like, that's the point. I actually do have a lot of respect for this journalist, and I know this journalist, and I think that there's a lot more to this story than one person's name on this story. That's all I'll say. But the fact is, he's wearing this, the paper's having to wear this, and their appeal hasn't been upheld. So, you know, Geoffrey will walk away with almost $3 million. And I've got to say, Ben, I don't think he should have to donate it to some charitable cause. He's lost earnings because of these stories. Yeah. He's entitled to the money.
No, I know, but like, do you know what's really funny is that I live in Victoria, I live in Melbourne, so I often see Geoffrey, you know, on, you know, a weekly basis around Victoria, and the man goes around taking photos, and he's not living some glamorous life, and he's never lived beyond his means. He's never been one of those, you know, Hollywood A-listers. So I think he will donate the money back into what his biggest passion is, and that is theatre. So, you know, that's just a prediction.
Absolutely should be his choice.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what he'll spend his money on.
All right. Well, people living in Melbourne's COVID-19 hotspots have been caught out changing their address for their licence online to get around restrictions. Vic Roads has confirmed they have seen a sharp increase in people making the change. The process is now under tighter security, with a warning that if you're caught, you could face a fine of $820. Here's ABC's Georgie Tunney reporting from a checkpoint.
We're in Broadmeadows this morning, postcode 3047, where some of these lockdowns have started to come into place. It is a Melbourne hotspot, and as you can see behind me, this is the first day that police will be setting up these checkpoints to make sure that people are adhering to those strict stay-at-home orders. They will be asking drivers and passengers to prove that they do not belong to those particular suburbs of interest so that they can continue on their journey today.
Well, yesterday, Victoria recorded...
those budget cuts at the ABC are really showing, aren't they? Bloody hell.
David, she did that on her own. We need to be clear. She did that on her own Twitter page.
No, sorry, I'm just joking. Sorry, no, I cut in. Sorry.
Well, yesterday, Victoria recorded its highest single increase in community transmission since the pandemic began. Ben, 77 new cases in these hotspots, the majority of which, came from these hotspots. This is really irresponsible, isn't it?
It's so irresponsible, and it just makes my blood boil. The fact that people are trying to change their details so that they can continue on their merry way, it's just not, it's unbloody Australian. You know, like, I just think that they need to... I just like... No, but I know that's kind of a little bit dodgy, like, you know, but I just don't understand why people would do this. It's just so two-faced as well.
Entitlement.
Yeah, you just... I know, but it's like people... Oh, Robbo, what do you want to say? Go on.
It's only because both of you are on this side, and I totally agree. I disagree with both of you. When people's livelihoods are, you know, attacked and you know, they might lose it and they can't pay the bills, there's not an option.
Yes,
there's not an option of just going,
There is an option. Obey the law and stop the spread, and then we won't have this problem.
You can't pay the
It's
bills.
entitlement.
Feed your children.
How about you have a
excuse to get out of it that gets this crap spread into the community. It's people doing the wrong thing.
The difference between what you're saying and feeding your kids. So are you going to be all high and mighty and say, well, I'm not going to try and change my address?
$1,500 payment to anyone who gets a test.
He just did that, yes. But I'm arguing with both of you that you're saying that's just blatantly selfish and you know, un-Australian. And these people, they've got to, how do they feed their kids? Without the $1,500 payment, so that only happened yesterday. Without the payment, how do they feed their kids? If they live in a suburb that they've got to...
You're just painting the picture of the poor person. Like, you're just being like, oh, God, these poor people and they
because
can't
a lot of these suburbs...
No, But they're not. Like, the people that are changing these addresses and the people that are being caught and the government that is aware of this happening is finding these people and will continue to find these people because these people don't even have a good enough excuse. I mean, I looked into this a little bit earlier today, and that's the real facts. Like, for these people who are changing these details, they're doing it for their own
So you've
selfish
spoken
reasons.
to everyone. You've spoken to everyone. So you've spoken
Well,
to
look,
everyone. Okay, wait. Okay, so if you're saying that...
Robbo?
I don't need to speak to everybody, but I'm just telling you the facts. This is so how it gets blown out of proportion. It's because you want to paint the picture of the poor me man looking for his family feed. Like, that's not accurate. And also, just want to make a quick point. I'm pretty sure there's KFC in all of those little zones, and so they can just pop into KFC and get their two-piece feed. I don't have to travel.
If it's not accurate, okay. If it's not accurate, then why did Daniel Andrews offer a one-off payment of $1,500 to offset what he says? The Premier said this. We've got a clip of it, actually. The Premier has said that he thinks that a lot of people might be scared of losing their livelihoods and their jobs. So are you saying that the government and the Premier are wrong?
Before we answer that, let's have a look at what Dan Andrews said on the project last night.
Very disappointing whenever someone says no to a test. I think there's a couple of things you've got to do. You've got to understand perhaps why that's the answer. I think that there might be some people that don't have access to pay, whether it be sick pay or holiday pay. Their economic circumstances might be very uncertain, and the notion of having 2 days away from work while you wait for your test result may be a big challenge. That's why we've put in place essentially a no questions asked hardship payment, a $1,500 payment, to deal with that as perhaps a disincentive to getting tested.
Robbo, it's not to say you don't have a point. And yes, there
I'm not
is
saying
hardship.
I don't. I'm just saying that I disagree with you.
And Dan Andrews is addressing that. Hang on, let me finish my point and then I'll come to you. But the fact is, even when there's hardship, there's still a greater community need for people to do the right thing to stop this spread. We are in a pandemic. We have been warned. And the idea that people say, well, I've got my own issues, it's just going to make it worse. And it's just going to stop. It's just going to make it worse for other people who are also struggling as this spreads and spreads and spreads. It's not good enough to say, well, I've got to feed my kids. You've got to find other ways. You've got to talk to the government. The government's now stepping up. You've got to have some faith in the government to do the right thing, as Dan Andrews is now doing.
So, sorry, just quickly, Ben, you called me naive before. Is Dan Andrews naive?
No, I just think that you're naive to the fact that, you're just trying to
I'm saying the same thing that Dan Andrews did. No, Dan Andrews and I are saying the same thing.
No, but you're saying it's okay, Robbo. You're saying it's okay for people to break the law.
Well, I think I can answer for myself. So I think that, Robbo, what you're saying is, what we're talking about is these people that are changing their details so that they can leave their suburbs. I'm talking about those people. Of course, Daniel Andrews is now talking about the other people who do exist that are worried about needing to pay for earn income to pay for their families. These are two separate issues. I'm specifically talking about the number of people who have changed their information so that they can do the wrong thing. Am I being clear? No, you're
clear, but I just think that to paint everyone with that same brush, saying that they're all really awful and they're all really selfish, doesn't take into account the actual human condition of what people are going through.
I reckon. I fully
admit that there are some people who are doing it for the wrong reasons. I totally get that, and I appreciate that. But I just think that you two sitting there going, it's selfish for everyone to do it.
No, we're just talking about the selfish people. We're just saying that those people that have been caught, that have changed their details for no good reason, they're selfish, they're crap, and I don't like them.
Can I just say, Robbo, are you now saying that it's okay to break the law if you've got valid reasons?
Oh, now we're going into a different show.
No, it's the exact. No, we're not. It's the exact same thing. Robbo just said.
Hold on.
Some people are breaking these restrictions for the right reasons, and some are doing it for the wrong reasons.
Correct. Absolutely.
So it's okay to break the law if you've got a valid excuse.
If I'm saying to you, it's not one size fits all. Okay,
yes, it is.
if can I answer Kanye McKnight, or do you want me to?
I'm going to let you finish. I'm going to let you finish
in a moment, but I just want to say, Dan Andrews.
No. All I'm saying is, I just think there needs to be some kind of heart in it. And if you've got a dad who's got 5 kids, I'm just saying this. There will be plenty of these people because that's what Dan Andrews is saying. and they've got to change. Like they can't take time off. So their idea is going, well, look, we'll just move our address to, your mother's house over in a safe suburb because I can't take time off work. If they test me or stop me from leaving my suburb, which I don't work in my suburb, I've got to do something about it because there's 5 kids I've got to feed. Or there's an old person I've got to feed. Like, all I'm saying is that there should be discretion in doing that. And I just think it was unfair for you to label every single person who did this as selfish and un-Australian.
They are
That's all I'm
we
saying.
didn't.
I'm sorry.
No, those people
I
are
am
selfish.
labelling them
Yeah,
selfish
exactly.
because there is a greater need here that we are dealing with a pandemic. Restrictions are put in place because
How
this is
do
flaring
you feed
up.
your kids? How do those people feed those kids?
Well, they now have a
that's
handout,
that's a
so
fair
the government
comment.
hasn't. They started doing this before the government even had a chance to say we're going to help you out. This is ridiculous. There is a pandemic in place, and you can't just say, "Well, I'm exempt because I've got reasons A, B, and C." As valid as they might be, and as hard as they might be, feeding kids and all that kind of stuff. I get what you're saying, but we are dealing with something much bigger, and this kind of selfishness is only going to increase the pandemic and bring on a second, third and fourth wave because someone always has an excuse of why they're the exception to the rule. It's BS, mate. You can't do it. We have to start listening to the experts and stop and distance and lockdown. We have to pay attention.
Guys, we just want to do a very quick community service announcement. If anyone can find the hearts of Ben and Rob, we'd love to get them back in their cold bodies.
Emotional blackmail and very mean, Robbo. Very mean. That's, that's not fair. Come on, mate.
No. Are you just trying to be...
I'm trying to liven it up.
I was going to say, it sounds to me like you're...
Let's move on. I can't wait to hear what our viewers have to say because I'm really interested.
Yeah,
is Robbo right or is the right party right? The Ben and Robbo. Sorry,
I don't think there's right and wrong. There's grey. I mean, my particular point was that there's grey.
There is no grey in this. The government. Sorry. Okay. There's 3 sides to this argument. My hardline view is there are rules in place for the greater good, and you need to abide by them, no matter who you are, no matter what you think your excuse is. Hit us up on the hashtag BRR Show on Twitter and go to facebook.com/BRR Show to let us know your thoughts, because I'm really interested to know whether if there's anyone that agrees with the other guys, because surely not. All right, moving on.
Very true. You're the host. Cut our mics. Yeah.
In an anti-terrorism effort, new bollards have been built in Sydney's Martin Place to limit vehicle access, but not everyone's happy about it. This area has been a key location for food vans for homeless people in Sydney's CBD. Charities, advocates and the homeless themselves are stating that this move is making access to services far more difficult. The City of Sydney has distributed an email encouraging service providers to move on to social housing precincts where they claim there is a greater need. The founder of one homeless charity in Sydney believes the city is out of touch with the reality of the situation and is sceptical of the intentions, claiming that they're trying to drive out the homeless and shut the service down. Robert, look, the fact is we've seen devastating incidents with people driving cars or vans into crowds of people. Did the council really have a choice here?
They didn't have a choice. I'm very sensitive to people who, sleep rough and things like that. But of course you've got to do this. If you've ever been to Martin Place in Sydney, it would be very easy, really, without those bollards, to drive any kind of vehicle, truck, car down the mall area there and really do a lot of damage. I do believe that it doesn't need to be in Martin Place. So there's a wonderful area in King's Cross or Darlinghurst, where people also feed homeless there. Go to those places because this is just not appropriate. It's such a long bow to draw to say that by putting those bollards in, which is is driving away the homeless. Obviously, the City of Sydney and every city in the world needs to do more about homelessness, but this is not helping the cause. It's almost like what you said, Rob, yesterday, where if you put the majority offside, you lose, a lot of weight in your argument, a lot of steam in your argument. And I just think this is one of those cases that is a prime spot, especially because you've got Channel 7 there, for example. You've got, the financial district there. Lots of damage could be done. These are just a good way of protecting that. It's not taking away from them. Yeah,
what do you think, Ben? Should decisions be made on whether we can feed the homeless there when there are other places? There is safety issues, especially as Martin Place. If you could drive into Martin Place, you can do a lot of damage. That is a huge, just to paint the picture for people who don't know, It's a section of multiple blocks where there's basically a big footpath that goes up. It's about 5 or 6 blocks, I think. And basically, if you were able to drive your car down there, you could take out a lot of people and you could wreck a lot of businesses by driving into them. Doesn't the idea of bollards make sense?
Yeah, I think the bollards are there for a reason. Like, I think that there's always going to be better spots to be able to put... I mean, homeless people still have brains. I mean, I know that they're down on their luck and they're in unfortunate situations, but they will be able to go and find the places where they can get their food. Robbo, why are you laughing at me? I'm scared.
Oh, no, sorry. I wasn't. Sorry, I wasn't.
What?
I wasn't laughing at you, I promise. No,
Oh,
I
what
promise.
are you laughing at?
I promise.
Are you not wearing pants again?
No, this is like being caught with the note in school. You have to tell us what was going on, Robbo. What was so funny?
Alrighty. I think you muted your mic and had a little chat and had a drink because I said exactly what you said just moments before. So you're talking about Martin Place, and I said there's Channel 7 there, and you can go down. It's like a big mall. And I look down, and this is you. You're going... And then you start going, well, guys, actually, no, Martin Place is, a lot of this, there's a lot of businesses there. So maybe less on the mute mic.
I was reiterating. I had mute, but I was listening. I was listening. I was reiterating what you were saying. I have a guest here today who took that shot from before, and I was just explaining that that person was missing a big conversation that was going on. So thanks, Robert. Well, I got myself.
You asked. I said no.
I
said no, and you asked. Yeah.
Well, look,
sorry, Ben. Sorry. Oh, Rob. Sorry.
I think we all agree on this one. We'll move on. Well, after weeks of speculation and rumours, it helps if I don't have my auto cue button up the wrong way. Well, after weeks of speculation and rumours, it's finally been confirmed. Bachelorette couple Angie and Collin have called it quits. In a statement from Angie on Instagram, she said she appreciates people's concerns and investment, but this is real life and they both need privacy and time to heal. But it did get us thinking, why do we get so invested in celebrity relationships? From the Beckhams to Beyonce and Jay-Z to Brangelina. What makes us care so much? Ben, you're our entertainment guru. Do you pay attention to these sorts of things?
Oh, I think it depends on who the people are. Like, I'll never forget the 17th of February in 2001 when Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman separated. The world stopped. Everyone was like, Jesus Christ.
It did.
And you know what? People did care. People did care. With Ange and Collin, or whatever his name is. Like, I know Ange is a friend of mine and I've met him once, but I'm just going to say, I know she's my friend and I hope she's not watching this show, and anyone that knows her, don't send it on to her. But I don't think anyone cares about this relationship at all. I think we've been through so many Bachelor and Bachelorettes, and these people go on on these shows, and some people are invested, some people aren't. I genuinely would love to do a pop quiz on who genuinely cares that these two people have separated. But what I'll finish with is this, and that is, yes, she's gone through a breakup and this relationship hasn't turned into what it is. So just maybe the trolls need to leave her alone. That's all I'm going to say. It
is interesting, though. Remember how upset people got when the honey badger didn't pick a partner in The Bachelor? People went feral, Robbo. They actually got really upset that this guy didn't fulfill the contract of finding love on The Bachelor, and people turned on him. Do we invest too much into these shows, and are we looking for some idealized version of romance?
Yeah, I think we are. I think that's a very good point. I think, when I watch a TV show, so for example, when I finished Lost, I grieved for the characters. I'm not going to see them anymore. So that's not even reality TV. That's just a really good series. Okay. The other thing is, though, I want to go back to a slightly different corner here. Piss off with you. I want privacy. We need privacy. No. You sold your privacy when you went on a TV show. You sold your privacy when you go out and you put it on Instagram and you do all these lovely little pictures and these endorsements where they get paid money. Piss off, mate. No one cares. If you want privacy, I've got a really good idea for you. Don't go on a reality show. Don't be in the media, and don't do anything about it. Just move on, and then you'll have your privacy. Now, it's just
Robbo,
all alone.
You know what you come across like when you say this? Robbo, do you know how you come across when you say stuff like this? It sounds like you're jealous about what these people have gone through. Because at the end of the day, I think it's fair what I'm saying about Ange and Collin, that no one really cares too much about them. But, at the end of the day, Angie went on that show with a genuine interest to find someone. The public followed her.
Rubbish.
And
Rubbish.
what are you going to say?
They go on there
What have you
for
got to say
attention.
about
No,
They go-
Robbo, I think
They
it's fair
don't.
to say
Oh
that
my
people
gosh.
do go
You're
for...
such a bullshit artist with stuff like that. I swear to God, it's crap. It's actual crap. What, are you saying that everyone that's on reality TV show are just attention seekers? Is that what you're saying?
Well, there's a certain element. I mean, every person who gets in front of a camera or strives to get in front of a camera, whether it be a journalist, a newsreader, a movie star, an actor,
Well, we all
reality
have
TV
egos.
contestant, game show contestant, I think that there's a
We all
certain
have
element
egos. Yeah,
of someone.
I'll role play
That's what I'm
something
saying.
with
There's
you.
a certain-
Actually, I'll just quickly say something to you. Later this afternoon, your phone rings. Hi, David Robertson. How you going? And you're like, hello. And then they're like, we're going to offer you a spot on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. And you'll go, thanks very much, Mr. Person. And the next thing you know, because you go on that show and you have a good time, the audience will love you because, of course, they will because you're fantastic. But let's just say then afterwards, you're then watching the Ben, Robin, Kylie Minogue show because we've got Kylie Minogue to fill in for you while you've been on the show. And you hear us being
I
like,
appreciate that.
what a bloody attention seeker. Oh, God, he just wants the free shit. I'm like, no,
But
mate.
he would
that's
agree
not what
with
it
that,
is.
Ben.
I promise you, I'm not just saying this. I promise you, I would love to do that show. I would love the attention. I'm just being honest about it. The people who say things like, oh, you just want to get on TV. Yes, and so do you. Like, you know,
Your
I've had
feelings
other
don't stop.
presenters.
Your feelings don't stop. Okay, let me just add something more to this, and that is that let's say something tragic happens in your life, and then it's being majorly discussed while you're grieving, and then you're
But
getting
I put
people
myself
saying,
out there. That's part of the reason.
Look,
So
I think
I don't think that a
it-
celebrity
I
should be
think it-
photographed in their house. So if you've got a telephoto lens, no, they're not in their house. But if they're outside of their house, if you want the money, if you want the fame, if you want the free stuff and the attention, and someone takes an unflattering photo of you in the street,
no, it's
suck
not
it.
about the free stuff.
No,
It's
Can I,
not about
can I
the free
say, I
stuff.
think, guys, I think what happens here is that people like Angie they get into these situations and they do want a bit of fame, but they don't realise the cost of it. And there is a cost that comes with fame, and it's the paparazzi. It's the intrusion into your private life. So, nobody, you know, the request for privacy is fine. She's entitled to ask for that request.
Yeah.
But the fact is that there is an appetite for what's going on in her life because we shared that journey.
Yeah, people are
watched her
she
invested.
choose
cultivated
this
it. She
guy.
wasn't forced. No one held a gun to her head and said, you've got to
That's
go
my
on
point.
television.
I'm agreeing
Well,
with
to
you,
be
Robbo.
fair, though, can I just quickly say, to be fair, she was on Gogglebox. She was then on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. And then after that, they were like, you know what? Then Channel 10 said, we'd like to put you on another show. And so Angie's goal was that she would like to be in the media. That's her goal. And she thought, well, if I go on The Bachelorette, that's probably going to help me boost my career. And that's a side part of the fact that she was like, well, I'm single. I might as well see if I can find love. You know, it's a job. She took it as a job. She thought it would help for her media career. And, you know, now that she's grieving, she just might need a little bit of privacy. And I think we can give her that. I mean, my point still stands. No one cares, mate. So, like, as in, it's she. I don't think anyone.
I agree with that, Ben.
Yeah.
The
I
topic
agree
of
with you. I
The
do.
topic was actually, why do we care so much? And I think we've proven the point. We really do. All right.
Yeah.
No, some people.
Well, yesterday
I've
we
had
all-
enough.
I love you,
Go on,
Ben. Ben, I love you. Ben, I love you. We're all good. We're all good.
Alrighty. My
Well,
phone's
yes-
ringing, so I'm assuming
All
it's
right,
Angie that
people.
she's watching the show. So anyway, alrighty, I'll be back.
Where's he going?
To take a phone call.
I think she might be calling.
Does he know we're live on
Is
air?
Angie calling him? Put it to air. Put it to air.
Oh no, it's not. It's not. It's not her. It's not
Thank God we're not
Can I
live.
just say,
Debt
that
collectors.
is Ben Norris to a T. He will literally leave a live TV show to take a phone call from a minor celebrity.
100%. Guilty. Guilty. Anyway, look, the show's real. This is a real show, isn't it? I mean, we don't have to be like the rest of the networks.
You know, Ben, I
mean, it's not-
encouraged you to fill your wine glass up before. Put the wine glass down. Put it down.
Okay. It's not like I went to go and make some Pop-Tarts. We were wrestling one of my friends, and so I was like, oh, God, I hope it's not her ringing. Like, it's not like I went into the kitchen to make some 2-minute noodles. I just was like, oh, my phone's ringing off its
2-minute
hook.
noodles.
Yes, put
so
your
do
phone
I.
away while we're on air. Anyway, well, yesterday we all shared some photos of us in our younger days, and we loved seeing all your photos as well as you posted them on social media. So today it's not only Tipsy Thursday, but Throwback Thursday too. To start us off, who better to have a brilliant collection than Carlotta, a big fan of the show, and she's coming on next week. She's getting a huge award, yeah, and Carlotta's coming on, but she shared these absolutely iconic pictures with us. First, there was this one. Look at that.
Stunning.
Beautiful. She's gorgeous.
She really is. And then there's this one.
Yeah.
I mean, my God,
yes.
I cannot believe she was ever a man. And last but not least, an even bigger throwback, that's Carlotta as a little toddler.
Aww.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cute.
We also have
she is
our-
beautiful.
Yeah. We also have our good friend Leonardo Puglisi from 6 News. How do you say his last name, Robbo?
Wait. Puglisi. Doesn't he still look like that, though?
That's a current photo. That was last week. Sorry, mate. You can't say it's a photo from last week. I guess you can if you've only been alive for
from
12
6
years.
News Australia sent us this one from the first job he had on the road. This guy's like only 12 now or something, and he's
wonderful.
Look at this. How did
Great
he start
talent.
at 3?
Yeah,
This kid is amazing. And can I just say, Leonardo, I know you're watching, and I love you. But my God, how good have things been since your appearance on the Ben Robbo show? He's been on 10 News, Channel 7, SBS, ABC, Ticker Jumpstart.
Ticker TV.
You know, mate.
No, but I don't think he was on us first, to be honest with you. I mean, David Robertson, you found him. So where did you find him? Where did you see him? Because it was your story. You managed to get him onto the show.
I found him on YouTube.
Yeah, so I found him on YouTube where 6 News Australia kept coming up on my feed. And so I looked at it and then we got him in and then Channel 10 got him in after that. Then Channel 7 got him in. Yeah, so the Ben Robbo show. We are star makers.
Are we responsible? Are we responsible for him? I don't think we can't take credit.
Why do you
we can't
refuse
take
to
credit for
believe
that.
it? Ben, you
'Cause
don't
we can't
understand.
take credit for
the
that.
media elite
God.
watch this show to steal our ideas. You know, that's
You
what
know,
happens.
can I just say, Rob McKnight, we're going to need a bigger box for you to sit in because your head's so big, we can't see all of the rest of you. Like,
I give you facts. Facts.
We're starting
Facts.
people's
Why are you
careers.
winding me up? Sorry, Amanda is winding me up. What? What is
sorry.
going on?
Sorry. No.
Next photo.
Lindley shared this one with us from Facebook from 1976 saying she still rides her motorbike like that. Oh, that's nice.
Oh,
we've got this
bloody hell.
one from Sherry, taken 30 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
John from Radio
That looks
Notes.
like Paul Keating's ex-wife.
It does, actually. John from Radio Notes podcast sent through a few to us on Twitter, including this one. Oh, fetching.
I like that
That's
tie.
a young David Robinson. We got this
Yeah,
one
that is.
from Cameron on Facebook. Adam sent through this saying 1999 in a hired tux for school formal. Date kind of ditched me, but no matter. Turns out I didn't like girls anyway.
Good on you, Adam. Good job
Good on
looking
you,
handsome.
Adam. Daniel
He fits in with this
uploaded
show.
this fun pic with a lot going on. Nope, we don't have that one. Our producer's grandma even got involved. This is Colleen, who is now 90 at 45 years old. Oh, look. How wonderful is that? And look,
Still got
I
it there.
teased it yesterday. I'm going to embarrass myself. Here is me at Disneyland in the year 2000 with Mickey Mouse. There's the orange hair, kids.
My God. Oh, my. No. Oh,
I don't think
a
anything
couple of
could
things
be
to unpack
kept
here.
Sorry, Robert.
Yeah, that's exactly, Ben. That's what I was going to say. A couple of things to unpack. We've got the hand on the hips.
better go back to it, Amanda.
The hit.
Amanda
The
didn't want
foot
me
in
to
front of
show
the other foot. The hair. Oh, wow.
I got the boots going on with the jeans, the black
the
boots and the faded jeans.
Acid jeans. Yes.
The shirt's tucked in.
And the tucked in shirt, those. Yeah.
I was always big on a tucked in shirt.
Do you know, was that taken from the first series or the second series of Queer as Folk? I'm not sure.
Well done, Ben. Well done.
Look, thank
Maybe
you to
the third
everyone for
series.
sharing your photos. Keep them coming. We absolutely love them. Look, now it's time, while we have a drink, for you to get the latest news headlines. And for that, we go to the Ticker newsroom.
Rob, thanks. So let's check some of today's top stories from Ticker. The Victorian Premier Daniel Andrews requesting international flights directed away from Melbourne. The New South Wales Premier Gladys Berejiklian hits back, saying they don't want anything to do with the coronavirus outbreak Victoria, as well as the international arrivals too. And continuing with that theme, turbulent times for the airline industry. Airbus set to cut 15,000 jobs globally, mostly in Europe. The move comes as a plane maker fails to sell any jets in the wake of COVID-19. Today, the first day of another lockdown for many Melburnians as well. The strict measures only apply to 10 infection hotspot postcodes, but about 30 suburbs across Melbourne's northwest, the north, as well as the southeastern outer suburbs too. The state now has more than 2,200 confirmed cases. The Australian government's stepping up against the growing threat from China. The PM says it's all about keeping key Indian and Pacific choke points free from coercion, but China hitting back at Australia. The Foreign Ministry late last night suggesting Australia is on the cusp of an arms race, which they don't want, we don't want, but China itself spending an extra 7.5% on military this year alone. Zoom has added over 100 new features as part of a 90-day plan to improve security and privacy. Comes after many Zoom bombings of meetings during coronavirus, and the lockdown hit so many companies and privacy concerns around the world too. Let's have a look at the weather map now for today, for this Thursday. Melbourne, a bit of drizzle around, but otherwise sunny, a top of 14 degrees. Sunshine for Sydney, a beautiful day, 23 degrees. Brisbane cloudy and 24. Perth sunny and 18 degrees. Adelaide showers, a top of 14. Let's check the ASX, see where that's gone. And it's headed up at the open, about 0.5% up. Taking its lead from Wall Street, it did not, which was down. Check this out. Straight down, concerns over manufacturing data and the like continuing to pummel the market as well as stocks right around the world. That's the latest from Ticker. Now back to the Ben, Rob and Robbo show.
Thank you very much, kind sir. We'll see you Monday. It's time to talk movies with our dear friend Joe Casamento. Good afternoon, Joe. Pop the cork, break open the champagne. Cinemas, including Hoyts, are back today, hey? Oh, she really is.
My God.
Oh, my God. I'm almost out of wine.
I even put my red carpet outfit on just for you, Pies.
It looks beautiful.
Pop the champagne.
You
Thank
are
you. I'm going to have a little
vision
sip.
of loveliness, Joe Casamento, but yet you always are. And can I just say, I always love you in front of the Billy Joel piano with your white decor.
I know. It's my set.
You've got the pink going.
It's
and
beautiful.
look, you've got pink in the background. You've got the pink dress on. And
I do.
Oh, my God, it's like it's been art designed within an inch of its life.
Yeah.
Wait till I turn around and play you a little number.
Well, yeah,
We'll do that one time.
I like that. But what I also love is you've panned left and it's a complete mess with clothes all over the couches. No, I'm joking.
Oh, Rob.
It's a very stylised set. Thank you, Rob. Thanks for pointing that out. I am a mother of 4. Give me a break. No, that's not true. That's not true. I want you to look at this beautiful... Oh, God.
Oh, no.
That was the champagne.
Oh, no.
That was the champagne.
Pick it up, Joe.
But I want you to look at the beautiful...
Oh,
See?
very
Puppy,
nice.
Puppy.
Very nice.
Can you see Puppy?
This is like...
I love those mini bars.
This is like a...
You know I'm a mini
Superstars
Barbara
in their
Cartland.
Joe, in all
Yes,
seriousness,
okay.
is the champagne okay?
In all seriousness. The champagne's on the floor, but fortunately I am actually coming to you. I'm on a bar cart, a gold bar cart, no less. And now I can open another champagne.
Good
Right.
I've
girl.
got everything here.
Good girl.
Vodka,
Go to Joe's house. Oh,
all
my
the
God.
good stuff. Yeah.
Joe,
What I'm
It's
just
all
annoyed
happening.
at is I've never been invited to Joe's place and it is party town.
Is
It is, and if I turned it round even more, you could see the beautiful view of Coogee Beach. So just
Oh,
to,
Jesus.
I'll come to you live from
Oh,
Coogee Beach
wow.
next time. Okay?
We're obviously paying
All right,
Joe
are we
too
talking
much.
movies?
we're talking about how who's
Ex-husband,
paying you?
ex-husband.
Certainly not the same person paying me.
Joe, cinemas, including Hoyts, are back
Yes.
today, and you've booked your movie ticket
Yes.
for tonight.
I have pre-booked my movie ticket. I've pre-booked my chalk top. I've pre-booked my box of popcorn because you're actually not going to be allowed to talk to anyone. I think once you get in there, you've got to wear gloves. You've got to have your temperature checked. You'll be seated like this, miles away from anyone else. But the good news is cinemas are open in Australia, and I couldn't be more excited. Today is the day. Get your butt there if you want your cinema fix. I'm going to see David Copperfield, which is the new Dev Patel movie, which is about David Copperfield. It's obviously the Charles Dickens stories, but it's a comedy. It's supposed to be brilliant. It's getting 4 5-star reviews. So I will give you the review, my Chop Top review on that next week. But it also stars Tilda Swinton and Hugh Laurie. And I just can't wait. It's the age-old story. And for me, a historical movie, no less, set in the Victorian era. Perfection.
There's something else coming back that you're getting excited about, isn't there? Is there something else that's coming back to cinema?
There is.
What is it?
Well, I'm just excited in general. Well, Ben, you are right. One of my favourite actresses is about to play one of my favourite singers of all time. I am, of course, talking Jennifer Hudson, who is about to star. She's made the film, is about to star as Aretha Franklin, the, queen of soul herself, in the new movie Respect. It doesn't come out till, they're saying December, January, but we do have a sneak peek of what we can look forward to, and this is going to be, mwah. Let's take a little look, Rob.
How many albums have you had? 4. And no hits. Honey, find the songs that move you. Until you do that, you ain't going nowhere. R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Find out what it means to me. R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Say Cat-T-C-D.
Aretha, you do talk, don't you? Not just sing?
I like you to call me Miss Franklin. To disturb the peace when you can't get no peace.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Find out what it means to me.
Yes.
Joe, that
so
looks
good.
fantastic.
Oh, hasn't that given you goosebumps? It's electrifying, right?
Yes.
It's just, it's going to be fantastic. And there aren't many people that were handpicked by their idol to play them on the screen before they died. And that's exactly what happened there.
That is perfect. She's made a great choice. That's wonderful. Now, Joe, obviously we're all excited. You're very excited about getting back into
I
the
clearly
cinema.
am.
But our friends in the US, they're getting a bit creative, and Hollywood A-listers are speaking out. What can you tell us?
Yeah, that's right. Well, as we know, the US is elevating their COVID-19 rates. So the governor of California has come out and said movie theatres, which were allowed to reopen, are now being shut down again. And Walmart, can you believe it or not, is opening its car parks for drive-in cinema experiences. Really? But some of the big Hollywood stars are speaking out and urging people to stay at home. And Jennifer Aniston is one of them. And she's actually not very vocal on Instagram, although she's got 1,000,000 trillion followers. But she has come out and with a photo, wearing a face mask. She actually broke. She was the highest ever Instagrammer in one day when she joined last year. But she called on her fans to wear a mask and pleaded with those to, care about human life. Please just wear a mask. So many lives have been taken by this virus because we aren't doing enough. That's I heard that discussion before. Robbo, we can have words later. We can't. Yeah, look, I'm not even going to start on that. But Jennifer
just really
is one
quickly.
of many.
Really quickly, Joe,
Sorry.
whose side are you on? Whose side are
I'm
you on?
usually your side, you know that, Robert, but Team Rob, how can we have shut the world down for a few people to make them, we've all got kids to feed and, we've just got to pray to good. Sorry,
Yes, Robbo.
All right.
Yes.
I love you.
Weirdly, it's only because Joe Casamento says it. Now, I agree with it. But only because Joe said
That's you to a bloody T. Joe, what have you been watching this week?
Oh, my God. I have had a wonderful time in my lounge room, can I tell you, fellas?
You would in that
weird,
lounge
doesn't
room.
it?
Well, I'll tell you what.
This is just my fake set lounge room. The real one.
Rob was you for a day. You'd be in trouble.
Yes. Anyway, we're going to do can I quick plug for the Binge Box podcast? We're going to do a set shoot up here, all in our pajamas, all my fellow Binge Box podcasters. So that'll be fun. Anyway,
Maybe that's
what I've been. Oh dear, I'm going to be in trouble for that. Now I have been watching the most fantastically hilarious film. I thought I was going to hate it. I'm talking about Eurovision Song Contest, the story of Fire Saga. I don't know if you guys have put it on. It's got my most hated actor, Will Ferrell. I can't stand him. And with Rachel McAdams. So I was really torn when the kids wanted to put it on. I'm going to give you my verdict after we've taken a quick look, but this is Will Ferrell, Rachel McAdams. It's got Pierce Brosnan in it. It's Eurovision, the story of Fire Saga. Let's take a little look.
Ever since we were children, we've had one dream.
Winning the Eurovision Song Contest.
All right, everyone. I am Lars. This is Sigrid. We are Fire Saga.
Who wants to hear a Eurovision song?
All of Iceland thinks
We are a joke.
That's not true.
and
My father is ashamed of me.
No, he's not.
He looked me into the eyes and said, I am ashamed of you.
Maybe he was drunk.
He said, and you might think that I am drunk, but I am dead sober.
Idiot.
Officially, Fire Saga will be representing Iceland at Eurovision this year.
I hate them.
Absolutely terrible. They're old, disgusting people. But we have no choice.
so we're in. Yep.
42 countries, hundreds of performers, and a worldwide audience of 180 million. This is Eurovision.
It's a jungle out
Wow. You have to watch that guy. He is a sex player.
Hey, looking good.
Secret, very beautiful voice.
Thank you.
We are a
Duo that will never be separated.
George Michael said something about other Wham guy. No one even knows his name.
Andrew Ridgeley.
You have to stay focused. We need to win.
What are you doing?
I just want my ding dong to look bigger than what is really there.
Smart.
Yeah.
I could do a camel.
Do a classic camel. It's never out of style.
Yeah.
This is it. We have to prove to Iceland and my extremely handsome father that my life hasn't been a waste.
Joe, that looks pretty good.
Honestly, I don't know if you're fans of the contest. I've actually been. I went to the Latvian Eurovision Song Contest because my family and I are huge fans. So for those of us who are missing it this year, this is absolute perfection. It honestly, it has all the trash-tastic, you know, you saw there the white unitard, the kitsch, you know, sort of stuff, the terrifying, outlandish behaviour. There's even a hamster wheel like the performances. I think it was Estonia that had a hamster wheel, a big hamster wheel in 2014. They have recreated it perfectly. Will Ferrell has absolutely nailed it. It is a love letter to Eurovision. I promise you, this is the way to get your fix. It's also got Pierce Brosnan, as I said, and you might recognise there. He's very different. He played Cousin Matthew in Downton Abbey, but here he's the Russian Alexander Lemtov, and he is fantastic. It's got a cameo by Graham Norton. I am giving it 4.5 chop tops. It is a delightful evening. For those missing their Eurovision fix, I mean, it's silly, but honestly, it nails it. It's really, really, it's fantastic. A lot of fun. So there you are.
Thank you, Joe. Do me a favour, stay right there. We usually leave you right now, but there is so much feedback coming in today, and some of it concerns you. So we're going to take the random live shot of the day, do some feedback, and then we'll say goodbye to you. Let's have a look at the random live shot of the day.
It's the random live shot of the day. Where are you going today? You never know where you'll end up with the random live shot of the day.
And today we're taking you to Iceland, where it'll hit a top of 17 degrees today for what will be a mostly sunny day after a low of 9. What a beautiful shot. Let's take a look at some of the feedback coming through to and the Ben, Rob and Robbo show. And I swear to God, you guys are very, very active today. Travis says, sorry, Robbo, I agree with Ben and Rob. These people are just being selfish, changing their address. Oh, Robbo, yeah, I think you're in the minority there. Jamie says, I'm a Queensland resident living in Melbourne and have not been home for 6 months to see my ill mum. I don't live in a hotspot, but respect the laws and not putting people's lives at risk. Leah Beatty says, ring the bell, Rob's on a rant. What point was that at today? I don't even know.
The whole show.
There was
the whole bloody show.
The whole show. That's
Graham
right.
says, I personally think the whole of Victoria should be locked down. Mary says, I agree with Ben and Robbo. Mary never agrees with me. But anyway, that's fine.
She's smart. She's a smart lady.
Amanda says, am I missing the point of what a homeless service is? And that is that they are taking them to people that have the government housing. Janelle says, do the residents of Italy or the UK get a chance to wriggle out of lockdown laws? What did they do if I have 5 kids? I bet everyone was locked down. No excuses. I apologise if I'm wrong. Don't you dare apologise, Janelle. You are right.
No, I accept your
It's
apology.
Robbo that is
Janelle,
right.
I accept it.
Mary again says, but homeless don't have cars. Those feeding them will always adjust to continue to do their good work. Philip says, Rob M is right. I'll just leave it there. Rob M is right. Rules apply to all. If you suffer hardship, charity, Centrelink, churches are waiting to help those as they did before COVID, and they will do after. Yes, good point. Travis says, Robbo in the jungle would be amazing. I'm trying to... Sorry, there's just too many. I'll move on to the Joe ones that I wanted to. Claire says, oh no, tragic loss of champagne. Nicole says, OMG, Joe is ready for Tipsy Thursday. But Mary says, since when does a family of so many kids have white furniture? I think that's a very good point.
That's what I said. This is my set lounge room. The kids aren't allowed up here.
Joe, can I make my comment?
You've got to have the
Can I
set
make my...
lounge room. Yes.
I was going to post a comment, Joe, but just instead I'm going to do it live. Joe, what do you reckon that if they made a Lifetime movie of Michelle Pfeiffer, I think you should play Michelle Pfeiffer. What do you reckon?
Oh my God, the Fabulous Baker Boys. I could see me on top of the piano. Totally. I wouldn't want to
see you on the top of your piano after a few champagnes.
Next week we expect that performance on top of the piano. But we have to leave.
Okay, I'll give you
We are
the theme
running out of
song.
time and need entertainment.
Okay.
We'll see you next week, Joe. Look
Thanks,
after
Joe.
that champagne,
Bye,
for
Joe.
God's sake.
Thank you.
All right, Ben, it's time for entertainment. We go to Ben for that. And Ben, what is happening with Guy Sebastian's former manager?
Well, believe it or not, Titus Day, and that's actually what he claims his name is, which I call bullshit on, is been, he's looking after Guy Sebastian for quite a number of years. I think it was about 11 years. And there's been this ongoing feud with both boys saying that the other one had ripped them off. However, Titus was arrested a couple of days ago, and he is looking to face court, and he will be facing court over allegedly stealing $1.15 million from Guy Sebastian. Look, when it comes to Guy Sebastian, I think he's got a legion of fans, and I think a lot of people are going to side with him, but this will have to wait to play out in court before we get a full understanding as to who is responsible here, because it is a bit of a he said, she said. And
although it's gone a bit further than he said, she said. The guy is has just only been allowed bail. He initially wasn't. And I will say about this guy, and look, he's entitled to his day in court. This guy called me a liar on the Daily Mail. So, I'll tell you something, I was not lying.
Rob, I love the fact that he called you a liar, so now you're up in arms.
Oh, look, 1.15 million, whatever.
Seriously.
He called me a liar, Ben. He's no good.
I think we need to change this show to full comedy. This show is a full comedy. It's hilarious.
You can talk, Ben. You are in such a weird mood today. I think you've been on the snaps a little early today.
The what?
The schnapps. Drinks.
Anyway. Oh, we don't have schnapps here. Anyway, it's
Robbo.
My house isn't the set of the Golden Girls.
No. Now, Benjamin, tell me there's been some pretty serious allegations put against a Mythbusters star.
Yes, Adam Savage has found himself in a bit of trouble. I actually didn't know who Adam Savage was because I'd never watched an episode of Mythbusters. I was
you've
like,
missed out.
Boring. Anyway, his sister has come out alleging that that she was sexually assaulted throughout her childhood by the host of Mythbusters. It seems like those allegations seem to be fairly inappropriate, is what I was reading. But he has denied them. So, look, at the end of the day, we're not sure what's going to happen to Adam Savage. But I would say that he came out and said that his sister's kind of crazy and she's been making allegations of all kinds of proportions. So who knows where this is going to go. Sorry, I sound like I don't care.
And Nicole Kidman and Russell Crowe have been caught on camera having a discussion, or maybe it was filmed, I don't know, on purpose. But, you know, they're on camera talking.
What a segue. Sorry, I should have written your segues for you so that you made some sense, but I didn't. Anyway, Tom Cruise was married to Nicole Kidman many years ago, as we would know. And it's one thing that Nicole Kidman always looks really upset about whenever his name comes up. However, with the Actors on Actors interview for Variety, Russell Crowe did something which I think is a friendship no-no. When talking about whether or not they would ever make a play together, check out what slips out of Russell Crowe's mouth.
When are we going to do a play together?
That would be interesting. What do you want to do? Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf?
Yes. Yes. I want to do a play with you. You know I want to do a play with you.
What was that play that you did in England about? I went to see it and it was so successful. What was that thing?
Blue Room or Photograph 51. You didn't come
Blue Room I saw. Yes, I did. I was there in the first week. Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah, and we were backstage. We were talking. We hung out. Tom was there.
Huh. And then did we go to the Ivy?
We did.
That was always my memory of, yeah. Everyone would go to the Ivy. Whereas after Photograph 51, we'd always go to Shake.
Come to the end of the show.
There you go, Ben. Good show. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Ticker's waiting.
Guys.
Bye-bye.
It's the Ben, Rob and Robbo, Ben, Rob and Robbo, Ben, Rob and Robbo Show.
Guys, we're still on air in Ticker. What's going on?
Oh, shit.
No, don't swear. You're on air. I put you to
Okay, well, seeing as we're still on air,
can
I just quickly say... No. Well, if we're still on Ticker, I just want to say some of the breaking news at the moment is that photographs of Zac Efron in Byron Bay have now surfaced. It is believed that he is in a relationship with an Australian woman who lives in Byron Bay, and he has been living there for quite a few months. So look, you know how they have those often sightings of like black cats, and they're like, oh, there's a panther living in the regional part of Victoria.
Rob, put us to line.
So
put Ben to line. Here we go. Ben, keep talking to us. There we go.
So like so at the end of the day, what I think is really interesting is that all of these allegations that, you know, maybe he is or maybe he isn't still living here in Australia have now been put to rest because photographs have now surfaced and is on Nova's website right now. So it turns out we have a new, what would you call it, son-in-law. We have a new son-in-law of Australia, which is Zac Efron. We should adopt him.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
I think it's fantastic.
Sorry, you're going to have to excuse me. I'm texting Ticker to find out what's going on.
Oh, look, just cut to... Sorry, Amanda, can you just have Robbo and I... Because we're going to talk about Zac Efron for, say, 75 hours. So, Robbo, what do you think about Zac Efron?
Well, I don't normally like dropping like a little name, but I met Zac Efron when he came out to Australia to do publicity for High School Musical, the first one. Wow. He was just wonderful. Really, a big hit with Michael Pell, the executive producer of Sunrise. Here's a little backstage story for you. Michael said to me, make sure you take him out through the control room so I can see him and look at him. So I did, and Michael Pell was a very happy man on that day, I can tell you right now. Zac Efron didn't know what was going on. This is like
the Ben, Rob and Robbo show after dark. We're sort of...
Well, we're off air now, aren't we? So we're just going to talk shit.
Well, we don't know.
So what's happened? Okay, so I'm texting someone. They haven't cut away, so I don't know what to do.
Maybe there's been a bomb scare and they've walked away from the desk.
And Rick, who usually does it, has got a family emergency, unfortunately. So he's not there to switch away. So I don't know what's going on. But you two talk. I'm going to call the CEO of Ticker and find out what's going on.
Do it now. Do it on air. No. Oh, I wanted you to do it live on air. That's fun.
Robbo, I've got a bit of a conundrum because you know how we're supposed to do your section called the conundrum.
I'll tell Aaron that he's live. Oh, they've cut away. They've cut away.
Oh, there we go. Fair enough. I wanted to move on to the conundrum.
But we're still streaming, so we will say goodbye to the people who are still watching the stream. We'll see you Monday on the Ben Robbo Show. What? How crazy is this?